Last but not least, today I'm going to show you how to perfectly set up the shoulder press. The shoulder press is one of the big 5 exercises and a must-do if you want to build up a perfectly balanced muscle or athletic body, and it's next to the bench press the most important upper body push exercise. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the bell and you receive a notification when I upload new videos. For now, let's look into how to perfectly set up your shoulder press to build up big round shoulders. The shoulder press complements the bench press and is a big part of your upper body muscular development. Together with the squat, the deadlift and the bench press, it is a must-do in your weekly workout routines. Today I'm going to concentrate on dumbbell shoulder presses. I like the change in comparison to the flat bench where I use a barbell. I like the dumbbells in the shoulder press because it gives me a very full and very natural range of motion. I also very much like the barbell shoulder press, but I'm going to look into that type of shoulder press in another future workout video. Unless you do heavy overhead shoulder presses as well as bench press, you can forget about hundreds of front and side laterals. Unless you build the base, which comes from heavy shoulder presses, you will never be able to build round shoulders and a muscular triceps just from doing side laterals. So if you want to build round shoulders, you must become very strong in shoulder presses, and then you can add like the front raises and the lateral raises. These are more shapers. But you can't shape anything without having the foundation built first. When you do a shoulder press, you train your shoulders, your triceps, and your forearms. Additionally, your whole core, abs, and your shoulder blade area is supporting your upper body stability. Then also, your legs and glutes are under tension when you do a shoulder press, which means your whole body is helping when you do a shoulder press. If you skip the shoulder press in your weekly workouts, you will never be able to build big round shoulders and muscular arms. But for more information on how you can implement the shoulder routine or the shoulder exercises into your weekly workout routines, please download my free training and nutrition plans via the link in the description below this video. And there you see the whole overview on when to shoulder press, when to bench press, when to squat and when to deadlift. Now that you know how important it is for you to do shoulder presses, how often should you do it? Well, like I mentioned before, it is very important that you give your body maximum time to recover. You stimulate your muscle in the gym, but you grow and recover when you don't train. So considering that you also bench press once a week, you only need to shoulder press once a week. Make sure that you give your body plenty of time between the bench and the shoulder press session because they're very similar muscles. So you may need to make sure that your body fully recovers from one session to the other before you work out again. For example, for me, shoulder day is always on Monday and normally bench day is always on Thursday. That being said, when I really go hard and I feel my triceps and my shoulders for 2, 3, 4 days, there is no way I'm going to bench press on Thursday. In that case, I'm going to wait until Friday for my bench press and my whole workout routine or schedule moves one day back. So I would never train my chest unless my arms have fully recovered from my shoulder session. You would simply overtrain if you did your shoulder and chest session on 2 consecutive days. So make sure you have plenty of recovery. That being said, if you're a hard gainer and you struggle to put on mass and you have a very fast metabolism, I recommend you to fuse your chest and shoulder session into one training session a week. That means basically all your upper body push exercises are trained once a week on the same day. That will give you then 5 to 7 days of recovery time before you do all your upper body push exercises again. Gives you more recovery and then you can actually push harder. But if you have more specific question into how to fuse your shoulder and chest training session as a hard gainer, feel free to type into the comment boxes below, and I will answer your specific training questions. So let's look into what you need for a perfect setup of your shoulder press. First, comfortable clothes, similar to the bench press. You need comfortable clothes that don't cut in your belly or into your lower back. And you want to wear a comfortable t-shirt or a top that doesn't tie you up and doesn't cut in your shoulder blades or armpits, so you can have a good range of motion without being bothered about your clothing. Second, footwear. Wear comfortable trainers which give you a lot of stability on the floor when you press your heels into the floor and you don't want to slip with your feet. Number 3, gloves. Similar to the bench press, if you have dumbbells that are very gritty and gnarly and you don't slip around whilst holding the dumbbells, I don't think you need gloves. Though gloves give you extra stability in your wrists, and if you do wear gloves that you can tie up around your joint or just below your joint and it supports your wrist. Don't wear gloves that stop just on your hand, because that would cause the risk of the glove slipping around. So if you want extra stability, use some straps that support your wrists. If you have grippy dumbbells, it's not needed. Fourth, I don't recommend you to use a towel when you shoulder press. If you have a towel on the seat or on the back, and now you have to balance the dumbbells and you're like risking of slipping back and forth because the towel is between you and the seat, it causes you to lose the balance of the dumbbells and you can risk shoulder injury. Fifth, you can use a weight belt around your waist. It supports your lower back and helps you to stabilize your upper body. Most of the people though don't need a weight belt because you have to first become very strong until you actually need a belt. Now that you have everything you need, you are ready to shoulder press. But before that, let's do the proper warm-up. When I train a specific muscle, I don't stretch it because I like to keep this the tension in the muscle. I do rotate my shoulders though, with the arms straight and just arms down, backwards, forwards. I kind of rounding my back and open my chest. Rotate. So kind of the joint gets warm. My joint starts to produce some joint liquid. So everything is nice and smooth when we do the heavy shoulder presses. I also do a couple of rotator cuff repetitions. I do 8 to 10 repetitions for the outside rotator cuff rotation. I also rotate to the inside and then other side. Make sure your elbow always stays on the same height or on the same spot when you pull the handle outside. I also recommend you to do 1 or 2 sets of light back extensions that gives you a light pump in your spinal erectors, and that will help your spine and your vertebrae to stay nice and stable. Do a couple of lighter warm-up sets so that your shoulders and arms and joints get used to the movement, weight and pressure. I recommend a very light set and 6 to 8 repetitions and a slightly heavier warm-up set, 2 to 3 repetitions. Then give it a rest and then you are ready to go. Do not go too heavy in your last warm-up set and don't do too many reps because you don't want to tire and reduce your energy for the first main set with the big weight. First of all, you need a safe space where nobody can walk into your arms when you're balancing the dumbbells. Then you need a stable bench. I recommend you have the bench either vertical or slightly back. I prefer it slightly back. It's a touch easier to balance, but it gives me more stability. Then the seat should point up. This way, now when you place your butt onto the seat, it kind of pushes you back into this seat, and when you shoulder press, you avoid of slipping off the bench. Make sure that when you have to set up the bench, that you don't put it back too far, otherwise you turn it into an inclined chest press. So it's either vertical or slightly back. Ideally, the heavier it gets, I recommend you to work out with a training partner. He or she can hand you the dumbbells into your hands above your shoulders, and you're literally immediately ready to start your shoulder presses. This keeps you away from having to swing up the weight by yourself, and you reduce the risk of injury. Grab the dumbbells you're working with. Place your hands perfectly in the center of the dumbbell. This is the grip that you keep for the whole set. You can't adjust your hands once the dumbbells are balancing in your hands. So make sure you grab both dumbbells the same with both of your hands and lift them out of the rack. Stand in front of the bench, almost in the same foot position as you do the squat. Hold the dumbbells in your hands. I rest them on my thighs so they don't wobble around, and keep my shoulders safe. Make sure that your heels are on the same height, and when you sit down, the knees are just above your toes and feet. Once you sit down with your dumbbells on your quads and not on your knees, move your butt into the seat. Now your lower back is stable and supported by the bench. You remain in this position during the whole set. In order to get the dumbbells to your shoulders, you move relatively fast, one leg after the other, quite high towards your shoulders. Don't try to pull up the dumbbells with your arms and risk injury or tiring your arms before you even started. The dumbbells are now in place. Fix a point above yourself. Ideally, when you look into the mirror, fix a point above and behind you. This will help you to get the perfect direction when pushing the dumbbells up. If you look straight ahead or even worse down, it is impossible to push the weights straight up. Take a deep breath and push the weights up. At the same time, you breathe out until your arms are fully extended above your shoulders. Take another deep breath, fill your lungs with air. This helps your upper body to stay upright and stable. The air in your lungs work like a balloon, and lower the dumbbells controlled down to your shoulders. If you don't have enough flexibility, you lower the dumbbells down to chin height. As soon as you are on the bottom of the movement, you start to push the weights up again whilst breathing out, fixating the point above and behind you. Make sure your feet are stable on the floor, your legs never wobble around. The more stable you are in your legs and feet, the more balance and power you have in your upper body. When you sit on the bench, don't overarch, don't push your back flat into the bench. Keep a natural arch. Your spine stays in a neutral position throughout the whole exercise. Your lower back and butt, as well as your shoulder blades, always stay in touch with the bench. Once you have done your last repetition, get the dumbbells onto your shoulders, turn your arms so that the dumbbells can't fall to the side anymore, and lower them back onto your quads. Now you can stand up and put the weights back into the rack. If you do have shoulder injuries and for whatever reasons you cannot do shoulder presses or dumbbell shoulder presses, there are other alternatives on how you can train your shoulders. This though is beyond the scope of this video, and I'm happy to help you, so feel free to comment in the comment box below this video and I will answer your questions. Start with light weights. Get very good in the setup, the structure and the breathing whilst doing shoulder presses. The more you can automate the technical part of the shoulder press, the longer you can increase the weight over a long period of time and get very strong. With everything I've just shown you, I think you have the perfect setup of doing your shoulder presses. Now, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell, and you receive a notification when I have new videos coming up. And in the next few weeks, I'm going to show you the last of the big 5, the bent over rows. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you again.